Today we're going to talk about the roots of our hair and how to keep our roots strong. This is Dwella Moten Nelson, your healthy scalp specialist. So in order for us to talk about our roots, the roots of the hair, we have to differentiate between the root of the hair versus the hair that we take care of daily. So the hair that grows out of our scalp, that hair has a different set of needs that we have to consider versus the ones that are for our scalp, which is where our roots lie deep down up underneath the surface of the scalp. So you don't care for them the same because they're two very different things. So we'll talk about a little bit later how you care for the hair, and I think there are actually some videos that we have that share a little bit about how to keep your hair healthy, how to make sure it's hydrated, how to make sure it feels healthy when you touch it, and make sure it's not brittle. So that is another video, but today we're going to talk about the roots of our hair. We have 2 points that we can give you that can help you to be able to keep your roots healthy, and then 2 things that we want to consider that we want to not do to make sure that our roots are not getting weak. So the first thing, let's talk about how we can keep our roots healthy. One of the most important things that you can do to keep your roots healthy is to have a healthy diet. Making sure that you eat lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, making sure that you hydrate, make sure that you're not overeating sweets or overindulging in things, alcohol, smoking, those things that are really bad for your health overall, but they also have a negative effect on your scalp and on your roots of your hair. So making sure you eat green vegetables is really good. Raw vegetables, raw fruit, if you can have those, would be really great. Trying to get 3 or 4 servings of those, if not more, every single day. If people don't eat enough fruits and vegetables, lots of folks decide to do a multivitamin. I take a multivitamin personally, and I feel that it really helps me to just get those nutrients that I may not be getting through my fruits and vegetables. People have they decide if they want to do organic or non-organic, but for me, the most important thing is that you're trying to eat fresh fruits and vegetables. Most of our clients, I always recommend that if you're not eating fresh fruits and vegetables, you can at least eat 1 apple. The old saying is like an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So I actually believe that because an apple is very nutritious, but from the skin and the entire apple, like eating the whole apple, of course not the seeds and the core, although some people might want to eat those, I would recommend eating an entire apple a day. So it doesn't matter what kind, you choose whatever apple, slice it up and try to eat 1 every single day. That's super helpful for you, super healthy for you. And also green tea. Green tea has lots of great nutrients in it that is good for the entire body. So if you can get into the habit of maybe drinking a cup of hot tea once a day, those 2 things are very simple things you can add to your diet to try to keep your diet as healthy as possible. But I would say my number 1 thing with keeping your roots very healthy is having a healthy diet. Number 2 is you want to make sure that you have good circulation at the scalp. To increase the circulation in the scalp, you can do a manual massage if you have a little massaging tool, or you can massage with your hands or your fingers. They also have like electronic massagers that you can use to stimulate the scalp. And massaging the scalp is very different than, say, derma rolling the scalp. Massaging with your hands or massaging with the manual massager is absolutely perfect for increasing circulation to the scalp. So those are my 2 things that I would recommend if you're trying to help the roots of your hair to be healthier. Those 2 things are really super important. The 2 things that I would consider if you think that maybe your hair is not as healthy and it's not growing as quickly, your roots of your hair could be unhealthy. So here are some things that you can do to try to keep your hair from becoming more brittle or your roots from becoming more fragile and more weak. One thing is you want to make sure that you are steering clear of tension type of styling, tension styles, whether it's pulling your hair up into a bun. If you keep your hair in a bun all the time, eventually you'll start to see your hair start to thin because you're just pulling that hair so tight to make it smooth. Also braids and braided styles. If it's too tight, many times braiding styles can be very healthy for the hair and help the hair to grow easier. Also help the hair not to break as much because you're not manipulating it as much, especially for people that have very curly hair. But I would say styles that are not tension, styles that are not pulled very tight to the scalp, those really help to ensure that your roots of the hair stay nice and healthy. The other thing that you want to consider for keeping your roots healthy, helping them not to get weak, you want to make sure that you're cleansing your scalp. Cleansing the hair is very different. Like I mentioned before, the hair and the root can be cared for very differently. So the scalp needs to be cleansed thoroughly at least once a week. If you're using lots of product on the hair to use styling gels or to maintain a style or edge controls, if you're using those kind of things that are coming into contact with the scalp itself, you definitely want to cleanse the scalp more often, but your scalp needs to be as clean as possible in order to allow your hair to grow up from your scalp. So I would recommend that if you're using lots of pomades and sprays and hairsprays or styling types of pomades or things that are shea butter heavy or that have lots of oils in them that could potentially clog your pores, you want to make sure that you are cleansing your scalp at least once a week. And you should definitely cleanse with a gentle shampoo, something that's not going to dry the scalp out. So these are my tips to help you to keep your roots of your hair nice and healthy and keep your hair growing. Again, this is Dr. Dwella Moten Nelson, your Healthy Scalp Specialist.